A very good evening and welcome to the news tonight here on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tracy Shilshi and in the next 30 minutes I'll be getting you all the day's top stories. Let's start with the headlines. Unprecedented scenes in Arunachal Pradesh Assembly. Congress rebels and BJP MLAs meet outside the Assembly, pass a resolution to impeach the Speaker by voice vote. Parliament witnesses opposition protests over the conduct of Arunachal Pradesh governor in convening the assembly session in the state and also the CBI searches that took place at the Delhi Secretariat. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley dismisses Delhi CM's allegations on the DDCA case. The Congress, though, seeks his resignation pending a JPC probe into charges. War with Pakistan is not an option, says External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, emphasizes that India will continue talks to end terror. And Supreme Court steps in to check high pollution levels in New Delhi, bans the registration on diesel cars and SUVs above 2000 cc in the national capital till the 31st of March next year. Top story this evening: in an unprecedented move, the Arunachal Pradesh Assembly today passed a resolution to impeach Speaker Nabam Rebia by a voice vote and signatured the consent of 33 members. They included 20 rebel Congress MLAs, 11 of the BJP and 2 independents. The voice vote was boycotted by supporters of the Chief Minister Nabam Tuki. 27 members, who included the Chief Minister, his ministerial colleagues and 16 Congress MLAs, abstained from the proceedings. The Deputy Speaker T. Norbu Thongdok chaired the proceedings at a makeshift community hall. This after the district administration sealed the Assembly Secretariat complex, apprehending law and order problem. Arunachal Pradesh has a 60-member assembly. Tension, of course, prevailed around the assembly complex, where police lobbed 4 tear gas shells to disperse supporters of the rival Congress factions. Both sides then hurled stones at each other that damaged a vehicle as well. All right, for more on what is developing across Arunachal Pradesh as far as the political situation is concerned, we're in fact joined on the phone line from Itanagar by the Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh himself, Mr. Nabam Tuki, joining us on the phone line. Sir, going by what we saw today, of course, is that something similar that we'll be witnessing tomorrow as well? Is the solution now only at the doorstep of the President?
Hello?
Mr. Tuki, can you hear me?
Yes, tell me.
What we witnessed today outside the assembly in Arunachal Pradesh, is that something that a solution lying now only with the President?
Yes, we need now interference from the President of India, and then the legal authority, because our popularly elected government are being targeted, and to just to dismiss the government where the BJP party is planning to do that, because Governor J.P. Rajbha has preponed the assembly session and then issue order to conduct the assembly session without consulting the Chief Minister and Council of Ministers, by violating the 174 of Constitution of India, and also the message under Article 1752 of the Constitution of India, that which is only for the bill but not for the resolution. So therefore, such act of a governor is violation of the Constitution of India. Therefore, we are disagree to such move, and it should not allow to happen. And if once it is happen, it becomes precedent for whole of the country.
All right, but if you just look at the numbers, of course, Mr. Tuki, if you look at the numbers at least of that voice vote that took place today, of course, you would say that it is, it wasn't correct at all, maybe legally incorrect as well. But if you look at the numbers, at least it seems to be that the rebels and the BJP, of course, they seem to have the numbers, at least 33 of them. A lot of people saying that you couldn't control the people within your party, and that is an advantage that the BJP is taking now.
That is wrong information. That is wrong information, because Congress Congress got 47 out of 60. BJP is only 11 and 2 are independent. Now, 21 of the Congress MLA, they have been move against this thing, government, the decision resting with the BJP party. So they have been 14 of them has been disqualified by the speaker. So they are no more member of the August House. So they cannot form a majority now.
All right.
So
In
to
fact,
tell-
let me take that question then. Let me take that question to Mr. Pasang Dorji Sona, who's also joining us, a Congress MLA. In fact, one of those rebel MLAs who are, of course, there being part of that voice vote. Mr. Pasang, if you can hear me, the CM there telling us that, you've been disqualified and your vote doesn't count.
When it comes to disqualification, we have to go by, provisions which is laid down in the Constitution. So we don't see any legal validity. The speaker who is in question, he's already been issued a notice for removal. So from the day of the notice, the seat or the chair deemed vacant. So he cannot issue any order relating to the disqualification. So the question of disqualification doesn't arise because it doesn't have a constitutional validity.
All right. Today, of course, a delegation of the Congress led by the president, party president, Sonia Gandhi, met the president today, asking him to actually come out with a solution as far as this situation is concerned. What is going to be your strategy?
No, because we'll go by the Constitution. We'll work within the framework of Constitution. We are not going to, violate any rules, regulations. We will be thoroughly within the framework of Constitution. That's what we are here for, and we have sworn by the Constitution, so we'll abide by Constitution. So we are not going to do anything which is out of the framework of the Constitution.
All right. Even though, of course, others are questioning your move, saying that it is out of the framework of the Constitution. Mr. Tuki, if you're still there with us and if you could hear Mr. Pasang what he said, what is going to be your strategy now? And is that what we'll be witnessing tomorrow as well outside the assembly, the unprecedented, scenes that we saw?
He said is wrong because whatever action has been taken as per the constitution, because under the 10th Federal Anti-Defection Law, there is a to give up his own membership by assenting the party's order and also not attending the CLP meeting for price, and then going out open against the party and the government in this state. So there is total indiscipline against the party as per the anti-defection law. They have been taken action. So once they haven't taken action as per the law, so they are no more member of the Congress Legislative Party. So therefore we don't count them as member. So among the remaining members, my group is the majority. We have 26 members now.
All right, Mr. Tuki, what you're saying, of course, is that what took place today as far as the BJP leaders and the Congress rebel MLAs, what they, of course, did today was unconstitutional, though, of course, the Congress MLAs, in fact, the rebel MLAs, saying that they are, of course, following the legal course of action. All right, thank you to both of you for joining us, and this is, of course, something that we'll be keeping a close eye on. And, this is a situation that's developing not just in the state, but it's something that's, of course, along the corridors of the parliament as well. It's an issue that, of course, has been, has been brought up, this debate. The Congress, in fact, continuing its tirade against the Arunachal Pradesh governor in the Rajya Sabha. The party disrupted proceedings continuously, leading to the House being adjourned for the day as well. Take a look.
For the second day in a row, the Congress protested against what it called biased actions of the Arunachal Pradesh governor. As members raised their voice on the issue, the chair adjourned the House for 30 minutes.
House is adjourned for 30 minutes.
When the House reassembled, the agitation did not subside. Amid din, Tribal Affairs Minister Jewel Oram responded to queries on the Polavaram project, while Labour Minister Bandaru Dattatreya replied to questions on ESI centres in Maharashtra.
उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार के रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक उस एरिया में लैंड एक्विजिशन एक्ट 1894 के तहत लोगों को कंपेंसेशन मिल चुका है, क्योंकि काम होने में बाकी है इसलिए वो लोग बसे हुए हैं और रिसेंट 2013 के एक्ट के हिसाब से वो कंपेंसेशन मांग रहे हैं। ये अभी विचाराधीन है और ये विचार हो चुका है, इसलिए ये नया सिरे से विचार नहीं हो सकता है।
Repeated appeals by the chair to allow question hour to proceed went unheeded. As protest escalated, the Congress members reached the well, prompting the chair to adjourn the House till 2 p.m.
House is adjourned till 2 p.m.
The Congress has alleged that the Arunachal governor convened the assembly session to remove the speaker without consulting the government. Deputy Chairman P.J. Kurian had given a ruling on Tuesday that the governor's role can only be discussed only by bringing a substantive motion. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the centre today defended the advancing of the winter session of the Arunachal Pradesh Assembly by Governor J.P. Rajkhowa, saying that there are conditions under which such decisions can be taken without the concurrence of the state government. The centre also rejected the Congress's charge of trying to destabilise the state government, but the Congress continued to question Governor Rajkhowa's role, alleging that his actions amount to the murder of democracy and constitution.
The Arunachal Pradesh governor issue created uproar in Lok Sabha too. Parliamentary Affairs Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu defended the state governor, saying that he was following constitutional rules and regulations and that the centre had no role in his functioning. He added that the political crisis in the state was due to infighting among the Congress MLAs in the state.
Their own party internal matter. It's an internal matter of the Congress party. That has been the habit of that Congress party also. They are fighting among themselves. Today, the Speaker has disqualified 14 MLAs. Sharkey is talking of the Constitution. He is facing a no-confidence motion, Speaker.
Earlier, as soon as the proceedings of the House began, Congress members started protesting the alleged interference of Arunachal Pradesh Governor Jyoti Prasad Rajkhowa with the intent to destabilize the government of the state.
कि वहां पर सत्ता पार्टी को हटाने के लिए और वहां के 2/3 मेजॉरिटी से आए हुए कांग्रेस पार्टी को हटाने के लिए और वहां पर नॉन कांग्रेस पार्टी को अधिकार में लाने के लिए ये कोशिश चल रही है.
Not satisfied with the centre's response on the matter, the Congress members staged a walkout. The Congress party accuses the Arunachal Pradesh governor of deciding the winter session's agenda without the state government requesting for it. The 6th session of the State Legislative Assembly, which was scheduled from 16th to 18th of December, hasn't begun yet. The Speaker says there will be no session and blames it on the alleged interference of the governor. The governor, in turn, has demanded the Speaker's removal. This is Pranav Goswami's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
We're at a quick break here, but more news follows. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's get you some more national news now. In the Congress today raised the stakes against the NDA government by demanding a joint parliamentary committee investigation into alleged irregularities in the Delhi District Cricket Association or DDCA during Finance Minister Arun Jaitley's tenure as its president.
A day after, the Delhi Chief Minister brought in the DDCA angle to the CBI raid on his principal secretary, the main opposition Congress also targeted the Finance Minister, alleging large-scale irregularities during Arun Jaitley's tenure as DDCA president. The party sought his resignation from the cabinet and a JPC probe into the case.
कांग्रेस पार्टी ये मांग करती है कि इसके ऊपर जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी होनी चाहिए और जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी ही इसको प्रोब करे और जब तक ये प्रोब पूरा ना हो जाए अरुण जेटली जी को मंत्री पद पे रहने का कोई अधिकार नहीं है.
The Congress alleged irregularities in tendering process for construction work in Firozshah Kotla Stadium.
Tell me what is the specific issue, I can answer it. I can't answer a vague allegation. without any basis. Secondly, a state government and a party which is in the dock for having supported corruption and having interfered in an investigation in this manner can't really deflect the issue without any basis.
The Congress cited an investigation by the Serious Fraud Investigation Office in 2012 and a 2014 DDCA Internal Fact-Finding Committee report in this regard.
SFIO ने इस चीज को भी कहा है कि एनुअल अकाउंट्स का नॉन डिस्क्लोजर हुआ है, एनुअल अकाउंट्स समय पे नहीं दिए गए और कोई भी मेंटेन अकाउंट्स का एक्सपेंडिचर एंड इनकम के कहीं पर भी मेंटेन नहीं किया गया है। इसके ऊपर भी SFIO ने बहुत सीरियस ऑब्जेक्शंस लिए हैं।
Seeking to distance itself from the Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress also accused the party of dragging its feet on the matter.
कि अगर केजरीवाल जी सही मायने में अगर इस मामले में अरुण जेटली जी और DDCA की इंक्वायरी करना चाहते हैं तो उनको सीधे के सीधे FIR लॉन्च करवाना चाहिए था और कोर्ट जाना चाहिए था और हाई कोर्ट मॉनिटर्ड CBI इंक्वायरी की मांग करनी चाहिए थी।
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley was president of DDCA for 14 years from December 1999 to December 2013. The Delhi government, led by Arvind Kejriwal, constituted a committee last month to inquire into the DDCA issue. Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And on a day when both houses of parliament witnessed protests over the CBI raids in the Delhi Secretariat, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal claimed the agency seized documents that had no relation to the allegations being probed. He in fact alleged that the real purpose of the CBI raids was to access files involving Finance Minister Arun Jaitley in a case pertaining to the DDCA.
For the second day in a row, the top leadership of the Delhi government kept up its attack on the centre over the Tuesday's CBI raids reportedly against the Principal Secretary of Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal.
CBI गुलाम थी कल केंद्र में बैठी हुई रूलिंग पार्टी की और आज फिर रूलिंग पार्टी की है और वो केंद्र के इशारे पर दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री के दफ्तर में मेमो सीज यहां से उनके रजिस्टर फाइल मूवमेंट रजिस्टर तक सीज करके ले जा रही है और फिर पार्लियामेंट में स्टेटमेंट दिया जा रहा है कि इसका मुख्यमंत्री के दफ्तर से कोई लेना देना नहीं है। ये कैसी बयानबाजी है पार्लियामेंट में? पार्लियामेंट को धोखा दिया जा रहा है देश की।
The central government dismissed the charges outright. Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu said there should be no politics on the working of the CBI.
This government is very clear. We don't interfere at all. I can tell the House, none in the government is aware. None in the government is aware of any raid. There was no raid on Delhi Chief Minister.
Blatantly incorrect information is being spread by certain quarters since yesterday to discredit the agency with the intent to obstruct investigation. CBI categorically denies having seized any material during the searches which are not relevant to the investigation. CBI seizures during the searches at all 14 places were in the presence of independent witnesses as per procedure laid down by law.
The Congress also questioned the behavior of the Aam Aadmi Party in the entire episode.
या तो केजरीवाल साहब घबराए हुए हैं, उनको लगता है कि उनकी फाइलों में कुछ ऐसी चीजें हैं जिससे केजरीवाल साहब खुद फंस जाएंगे। बाकी कोई चीज सरकारी फाइल है, सरकारी फाइल कोई कहीं जाती आती है, ऐसे थोड़ी चली जाती है। कोई ऐसी फाइल को उठा के ले जाएगा। मुझे लगता है कि कुछ न कुछ ऐसी काली करतूतें या तो केजरीवाल साहब ने या उनके मंत्रिमंडल ने की जिसको लेके वो घबरा रहे हैं।
Social activist Anna Hazare also reacted on the incidents.
आपने अभी इतना बड़ा अफसर को अपने दफ्तर में नियुक्त किया, कम से कम ये देखना जरूरी है कि उसका बैकग्राउंड क्या है, उसका चरित्र कैसा है।
Global anti-corruption watchdog Transparency International meanwhile said they had warned Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal about the serious corruption allegations against his principal secretary and IAS officer Rajendra Kumar. It said a letter sent by it failed to get any response from the government earlier in May.
प्राइमा फेसी काफ़ी स्ट्रॉन्ग एविडेंस थे, तो हम लोगों ने बिकॉज वी आर नॉट इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसी, तो हम लोगों ने केजरीवाल साहब और LG और PM ऑफिस को वो केस कंप्लेंट फॉरवर्ड किया था विद आवर नोटिंग्स कि इस मामले को इन्वेस्टिगेट कराना चाहिए।
The CBI, on the other hand, kept up its questioning of Rajendra Kumar for the second day on Wednesday. This is Anu Diwan's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj told Lok Sabha today that war with Pakistan was not an option. But she made it clear that India will continue to take all steps to safeguard the nation's security and safety of its citizens. Swaraj said that India will hold dialogue with Pakistan as it was the only way to remove the shadow of terrorism. She also said that both Prime Ministers Narendra Modi and Nawaz Sharif agreed to have a dialogue on terror when they met in Ufa and later in Paris. Replying to a question of whether India was exploring options to hunt down terrorists, Swaraj said that India is talking to Pakistan on terrorist camps existing in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
उफा में पहले और बाद में पेरिस में प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जब प्रधानमंत्री नवाज शरीफ के साथ बात की तो ये कहा कि बातचीत हम दोनों देशों के बीच में तब आगे बढ़ सकती है जब हम पहले आतंकवाद को एड्रेस करें, और इसी के लिए उन्होंने कहा कि पहले हमारे एनएसएस मिले। तो बैंकॉक में पेरिस के बाद जो बैंकॉक में बातचीत हुई उसमें इन सारे विषयों पर बात हो रही है। युद्ध या अकेला रास्ता नहीं है। जब हम लोगों ने बैठकर नई पहल की है कि हम बातचीत के रास्ते से इस मसले को सुलझाएंगे तो एक नई बिगिनिंग, एक नई शुरुआत हुई है।
On to more issues in Parliament, and Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has hinted at making changes in the GST bill to accommodate the Congress's demands. Speaking at an interactive session on GST in India, the Finance Minister said that he was open to scrapping of the 1% additional tax for GST. But he added that the Congress's demand to incorporate GST rate as a constitutional amendment was not agreeable. Congress has been stalling the passage of the bill over its demand for a simple GST regime where states do not have powers to levy additional tax over the 18% tax rate that forms part of the Constitution Amendment Bill. Jaitley also hit out at the Congress, saying that the party was acting as an obstacle to reforms. He added that it was not difficult for India to grow at the rate of 8 to 9%, but the need of the hour was to strengthen the domestic economy.
If by sheer noise and disturbance, session after session of Parliament is not allowed to function, then this is going to be a precedent. And those who are responsible for setting this precedent will have to realize that their role in giving this unfortunate turning point to Indian democracy will also find a place in history.
Meanwhile, the government's decision to hike excise duty on diesel and petrol drew sharp criticism from the opposition in Rajya Sabha on Wednesday. The united opposition alleged that the government was filling its coffers by burdening the common man. The government increased excise duty on petrol by 30 paise a litre and ₹1.17 a litre on diesel. This will get an additional 2,500 crores in revenue for the remainder of the 2015-16 fiscal that ends on the 31st of March 2016.
The government's move to raise excise duty on petrol and diesel came for criticism by the opposition. The Congress and the left called it an anti-consumer move, while the JDU and the SP demanded an immediate cut in oil prices.
The government has been profiteering. People have not been given any relief when it comes to petrol and diesel prices.
Decline in price is totally neutralized by hike in the taxes and people are not getting any share.
ये एक्साइज ड्यूटी वगैरह बढ़ा रहे हैं, इस सबको विड्रॉ कीजिए और डीजल और पेट्रोल पर कम से कम 10 रुपया लीटर कम कीजिए।
यानी ऑयल के दाम जो घटे हैं, इन्हीं के चलते आप अपने तरह के फिजिकल से लेकर सारे घाटे आप पूरा करना चाहते हैं।
The BSP refuted government's claims of funding the social sector schemes by the increased excise duty.
जो लोग डीजल का यूज़ करते हैं और ख़ास तौर से जिसका फ़ायदा सीधे सीधे किसानों को मिलता है, किसान जो है वो अगर डीजल कम होता है दाम उसका तो किसान को फ़ायदा होता है। आज इस देश में किसान आत्महत्या करने पर मजबूर हो रहा है क्योंकि उसके पास खाने के लिए पैसा नहीं है और महंगाई की वजह से, लेकिन उसका फ़ायदा उन लोगों को देने की जगह अगर डीजल के दाम कम होते हैं तो ऑल राउंड महंगाई कम होती है। महंगाई कम करने की जगह आपने एक्साइज बढ़ा करके अपनी किटी को बढ़ाने का काम किया है।
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley tried to justify the hike and asserted that prices of petrol and diesel had been truncated in several tranches. He also said the funds will be shared with the states and used for various social development programs.
India has to take the utmost advantage of the fall in oil prices. First part of the fall goes to the benefit of consumer. The second part of the fall, the central government, when it imposes excise, आपने बहुत सरलता से ढिंडसा साहब कह दिया और बीजू जनता दल की तरफ से भूपेंद्र जी ने भी कह दिया कि राज्यों को दो, इस एक्साइज का 42% राज्यों को जा रहा है।
Jaitley's defence failed to pacify the opposition members as they continued their offensive against the government. The left parties even staged a walkout. International crude oil prices tumbled below $35 a barrel, coming close to 11-year lows. This is the second increase in excise duty in less than 6 weeks. The government had on 7th of November raised excise duty on petrol by 1.6 rupees per litre and on diesel by 30 paise a litre. It collected 99,184 crore rupees in excise collections from the petroleum sector in 2014-15. This is Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, on the third anniversary of the Delhi gang rape incident, the focus is now on the juvenile convict in the case. Due to be released on the 20th of December, the decision has come for criticism from the parents of the victim and also women activists.
On the third anniversary of the heinous 2012 Delhi gang rape, the spotlight is once again on the juvenile convict, the sixth accused in the case, who is all set to be released on Sunday. Parents of the victim, however, are questioning the decision.
ये चाहता हूँ कि उसको कड़ी से कड़ी सजा का, जैसे इन चारों को सजा मिली हुई है, इसको भी उसी सजा के, ये भी उसी सजा का हकदार है.
According to news reports, the Delhi government is planning to give the juvenile a one-time financial grant of 10,000 rupee and a sewing machine to enable him to open a tailoring shop.
दिल्ली सरकार ने जो फैसला लिया है, तो महिलाओं की सुरक्षा के लिए नहीं बल्कि महिलाओं की असुरक्षा के लिए उन्होंने फैसला दिया इस तरह का. अगर आज के डेट में इस तरह के जुवेनाइल जो क्राइम कर रहे हैं उनको अगर छोड़ा जाए, तो हमें लगता है कि एक तरह से उनको राइट दिया जा रहा है कि अब तुम्हें नौकरी करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं, कुछ भी करने की ज़रूरत है, क्राइम करो और हम तुम्हारे को 10,000 रुपया देंगे और दुकान भी खुलवाएंगे.
On Tuesday, the National Human Rights Commission issued summons to the Delhi Chief Secretary, the Police Commissioner and the Union Home Secretary for their failure to produce reports on releasing him. The juvenile convict was reported to have been the most brutal of the 6 accused in the crime. Since he was 17 at the time of the attack, the maximum penalty that could be imposed on him was 3 years. The brutal gang rape of the 23-year-old student led to demonstration by thousands of people demanding justice and better treatment for women. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, in an attempt to check high pollution levels in New Delhi, the Supreme Court today banned the registration of diesel cars and SUVs above 2000 cc in the national capital till the 31st of March next year. The court also banned diesel commercial vehicles registered before 2005 from entering the city. Also barred are commercial vehicles that are not Delhi bound. The court also doubled the green tax on trucks entering the city, besides ordering all taxis in Delhi to switch to CNG by the 31st of March 2016. The court announced these decisions are as a response to several petitions on the pollution levels in Delhi.
कोर्ट ने कहा है कि डीजल की जो सारी गाड़ियां हैं, निजी गाड़ियां हैं डीजल की 2000 सीसी से ऊपर, इसका मतलब जो आपकी एसयूवी है, मर्सिडीज बेंज है, वो पूरे एनसीआर में रजिस्टर नहीं होंगी. सारी टैक्सीज पूरे एनसीआर में सीएनजी पे चलेंगी और उनको 3 महीने दिए हैं कि जो भी टैक्सी है उसको सीएनजी पर चलनी है. और ये याद रखिए, ये उबर के लिए भी है, ओला के लिए भी है, हर रेडियो टैक्सी के लिए है और लाल पीली टैक्सी के लिए.
And that's all we have for you on the news tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.